is T. West, and welcome to Afro-Synergy. As we today celebrate Memorial Day, there's a storm that is brewing and that is going on.
Man, that's a cloudburst for you. That's a storm.
As the president prepared to speak outside of Chicago for Memorial Day, he had to stop the ceremony because of the rain, the thunder, the lightning.
But we don't want to endanger anybody, particularly their children in the audience. So I'd ask everybody to very calmly move back to your cars. I'm going to move back to mine.
This rain, this thunder, this lightning has been happening to the Palestinian people for decades. And it is being carried out by the Israeli forces who on a daily basis attempt to starve them out of Gaza, who antagonize them in the West Bank. And the American Congress, almost all of the members, are behind this. They support this type of behavior from the Zionist leadership in Israel and the Zionist lobbies here in the United States of America. America is experiencing a storm in the Gulf Coast. They have, because of greed, they have drilled into the depths of the earth, in the deep, in the ocean, a mile, 2 miles down, at a level where no human beings can work or live. And it is because of greed, because they do not want to enrich dark people, black people. There is plenty of oil on the continent of Africa, but they do not want to drill there. They would rather flaunt and flirt with life on earth by drilling into the depths of the ocean. But this is not the primary topic that I'm going to talk about today. What I want to talk to you about is the recent killings by the Israeli forces against the Freedom Flotilla off the coast of Gaza in international waters. The death count from the Israeli attack upon the Freedom Flotilla carrying aid supplies to Gaza has risen to 20. The Freedom Flotilla was carrying 10,000 tons of supplies and hundreds of politicians, activists, and journalists. These killings are similar to the murders the Israeli government has carried out against international and Palestinian protesters over the years. The Israeli government continues to censor most of the information about those they are holding.
The sixth ship, the largest, which had hundreds of people on it, not only did not cooperate in this effort peacefully, they deliberately attacked the first soldiers who came on the ship. They were mobbed, they were clubbed, they were beaten, stabbed. There was even reported gunfire. And our soldiers had to defend themselves, defend their lives, or they would have been killed.
Benjamin Netanyahu was supposed to have arrived in Washington today, but left Canada and headed back to the State of Israel. Mahmoud Abbas was also scheduled to meet with President Obama. Netanyahu has spoken in defense of the Israeli actions against the Freedom Flotilla, a clear indication that he accepts the killings in international waters. The Israeli Navy boarded the ship, 6 ships descending from helicopters as their Navy boats surrounded the ships. Danny Ayalon, Deputy Foreign Minister, went on television stating that the Freedom Flotilla consisted of terrorists who were attacking Israeli sovereignty and defying international law. Imagine that. However, the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon is indicating the opposite. He stated, "I am shocked by reports of killings and injuries of people on the boats carrying supplies. I condemn this violence. Many of the injured and dying have been brought to Israeli hospitals where information about them is being censored by the Israeli government." Russian Foreign Minister stated, It is clear that using arms against civilians and detaining ships in the open sea without any legal basis is a crude violation of international law. Again, it contradicts what the Israeli ministers are saying. These murderous deeds will hurt the Zionist state financially. Therefore, it is not surprising that the Israeli Trade and Industry Minister Benjamin Ben Eliezer has expressed regret for the deaths abroad in the Gaza aid ships. Talking to the Israeli Army radio, he stated, "The images are certainly not pleasant. I can only voice regret at all the fatalities." He certainly foresees a great financial loss in tourism and trade. Black leaders, religious leaders, must end your tours to the state of Israel, the terrorist state of Israel, which has hijacked the identification of others to assassinate persons in foreign countries, and provided means for its citizens to traffic in illegal harvesting of human organs. The United Nations Security Council will be meeting today to discuss the murderous acts carried out in international waters by the Israeli military. The Obama administration's position on this will be watched very closely by the international community. Once again, he is being tested by the Zionist regime. He must stand firm and stand for what is right and against these crimes committed by the rogue government of the State of Israel. The United Nations, the Security Council, must demand an immediate release of the ships and passengers held in the Ashdod port. It must also demand an immediate end to the Israeli bombings being carried out in Gaza on a weekly basis. It must demand the removal of all Israeli forces from Gaza and the West Bank. The International Criminal Court must play a role in bringing Israeli leadership to justice if it is shown that they supported the deadly acts carried out by the Israeli forces. The Obama administration must publicly show the lead within the United Nations Security Council to assure all this is done. President Obama must speak out against and strongly against Israeli criminal acts as he would those of certain African leaders. This is where politics must be set aside in favor of principles of humanity. The President of the United States cannot do this when he gives the criminals of the Israeli state concrete guarantees, after the United Nations has unanimously indicated the Israelis must sign on to the Non-Proliferation Nuclear Treaty and declare their nuclear weapons as all nations have. We must either do this or we shall mount an effort in Black America against President Obama in the 2012 elections. It is time for him to even be more forceful against the criminal acts of the Zionist state of Israel. This is T. West with Afro Synergy.